Hi, what if I told you that while you're listening or watching right now to this video, your biggest competitor just automated a process that takes you 3 hours and they did it maybe in 3 minutes? Here's a reality check that might shock you. Over half of the world's businesses are already experimenting with AI. But here's the kicker. Only 2% are doing it right. That means there's a massive opportunity, sitting right in front of you, but your window is closing fast. You really need to take action right now with your business. Today, I'm going to share exactly how you can join these 2%, this elite of 2% businesses that they are transforming their work with AI. And I say that without the overwhelm, but like in order to make it like making it more efficient and without breaking the bank, making it really simple and not spending a lot of money. So by the end of this episode or this video that you're watching today, you'll know the four game-changing AI processes that successful businesses are using, specific tools that can save you about 20 plus hours per week, a simple six-step process or roadmap that will help AIify your business, and why waiting another month could cost you and your competitive edge a lot for your business. So sit down, grab a coffee, grab a glass of water, whatever you drink, and let's get into understanding the AI powerhouse that could be leveraged in your business. Okay, so let me paint a picture that might sound familiar. Imagine a successful business owner who has built their reputation on quality work and, personal attention to detail. They're putting about, these business owners put about 60 hours a week manually handling a lot of tasks that competitors seem to complete in a fraction of the time. What's the difference here? Their competitors discover AI, right? So while this, let's say, business owner is crafting every email by hand, competitors are using AI and even automations to generate, personalized responses in seconds. So you can do automations just to respond to emails, and you can also personalize as well. So while they're spending evenings creating reports, others have automated systems, right, that works around the clock and saves them time, and then you have time for yourself. So here's what's happening right now in the business world. There's a 37% growth factor that I want you to learn about this. Those companies that are implementing properly AI in their business, they are the ones who are growing about 37% faster than their competitors. And that's not a small edge. That's a business changing advantage. If you can grow 37% in your business, wouldn't you want that? There's the 2% opportunity, which is, remember when I mentioned earlier, only 2% of businesses are implementing AI efficiently, and effectively. So this means if you get it right, you're not just keeping up with, what's happening in the market. You are leaping ahead of the 98% of those businesses or your competition who are not taking advantage of it. And then the other one is the displacement reality, meaning there's over for 15,000 AI tools that have launched recently in the market, and they are capable of handling over 14,000 different business tasks, right? So you have these 15,000 AI tools that can tackle about 14,000 business tasks. But here's the thing. AI isn't replacing humans, and that's something that I want to emphasize 100%. It's displacing inefficient processes that you might have in your business. And those employees who are leveraging AI, they're making your business and their roles and the way they provide value to their companies everything more efficient. So the businesses that adapt become more profitable and powerful. and more efficient. And it not just the business, but even the employees become more powerful because you are working smarter with the AI tools. Those that don't leverage those, well, you've seen the story before. They will get behind. So why are most businesses moving slowly? And this is something that I really want to talk about because everyone is aware of AI. Everyone is kind of like using AI here and there, but the implementation piece, the application of it is so slow. So why businesses are moving so slow? So let me break this down. The five main barriers that keep 98% of businesses stuck in this slow lane. Okay, let's go one by one. Barrier number one, it's the overwhelm factor. With new AI tools launching literally every single day, it feels impossible to keep up. Just recently, over 15,000 AI technologies hit the market capable of handling 14,000 tools, 14,000 business tasks, right? So that's like trying to drink from a fire hose. It's a lot, right? Well, so most businesses look at it as it's a tsunami of options, and they freeze because they just don't know what to do with it. They think they need to understand everything before they can use anything, which is like trying to learn every recipe before you're cooking your first meal. So being overwhelmed is normal, so don't feel bad about it, but be aware that there's way to manage the way to manage how you are overwhelmed, and the way to approach it differently. The barrier number two why businesses are so slow implementing AI is the knowledge gap. This one is huge. And most business owners have no idea what's really possible with AI. They think AI is either science fiction or just a few chatbots, but they don't realize that that you as a business owner, or as the head of the department, or whatever you're running in your business, you can clone yourself. You can clone yourself and create clone videos for maybe your marketing department, for your training department, for onboarding. You can translate your content in four different languages instantaneously. It doesn't take time. Or automate your entire customer onboarding process. That's another one. It's like literally having a Ferrari in your garage, but only using it to listen to the radio because you don't know how to drive it. Do you think that's fair to say that maybe that's what's happening? Barrier number three is the fear of disruption, and I understand this very well. So business owners are terrified that AI will slow down their operations, cost too much, or be too complex for their team, right? So they worry about the learning curve, the integration challenges, and what happens if something breaks. Some fear that their customers will feel like they are kind of like getting less personal customer service for using some AI tools there. Others worry about their maybe upfront investment. It's like being afraid to upgrade from having a flip phone to um, an iPhone or a smartphone that could really revolutionize the way you do the work, right? So that's what's happening. That disruption is really making business owners slow down and implement. The barrier number four is the human touch myth. Many business owners believe that using AI means reducing the human experience for their customers. They think automation equals impersonal service. But here's what they're missing. AI doesn't really replace the human touch, it amplifies it. When AI handles your routine tasks, you have more time to spend on these high value personal interactions that really matter to your clients. It's having literally an assistant handling your scheduling so you can spend quality time with your family or the clients that you want to spend more time with, this is the big difference. Like your time is implemented differently and you work smarter and differently because you have these AI tools who are handling the routine, mundane tasks for you. Barrier number 5 is the effort excuse. I know change feels effortful and expensive. Learning new systems takes mental energy. Training your teams requires time. Implementing new workflows demands focus. But with so many tools available, how do you know which one will be worthwhile the investment, the time, the effort? It is, it is easier to stick with the way we've been doing things than to venture into this unknown territory or trying to, work better and smarter and cheaper, right? So, but here's the reality. The effort of learning AI today is nothing compared to the effort of rebuilding your business tomorrow when your competitor have left you behind because you didn't take the opportunity to work on it right now, which is that's when you can get the advantage from it. So I completely understand these barriers, even with a team of researchers that I work with, that they are literally tackling AI developments all the time. They are kind of keeping up with the tools that are coming into the market and the piece of change that can feel overwhelming. I get that. So the key is recognize that you don't need to master every tool. And that's the thing. There's 15 plus thousand tools. You don't need to know all of them. You just need to master the right tools for your specific business needs. And that's where I want you to think through and take that overwhelm from how you're feeling. So let me break down the 5 areas where AI is transforming businesses right now. Think of this as your transformation toolkit. So the area number 1 is conversational AI. It's basically your 24/7 business assistant. Remember when having a receptionist back then was a luxury? Now you can have an AI assistant that never sleeps, never take breaks, and handles about 80% of your customer conversations. I'm talking about tools like ManyChat, if you use social media messaging across maybe Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. You can leverage the tool Dante AI for a website chat. But here's where it's getting really interesting. There's another tool called MetaHuman. These are digital humans that look so realistic. Your customers might not even, they won't even know who they're talking to, or they're talking to an AI, right? It's imagine having this beautiful professional representative available 24/7 for customer service or even sales meetings. This you need to check out that website, MetaHuman, because the quality of those videos and how the human looks like, it's amazing. The second area is the large language models. Basically, your genius writing partner. You have probably heard of a ChatGPT. I'm sure you have. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening to this show or watching this video. But let me show you how successful businesses are really using these large language models. So I'm going to talk about several LLMs that will maybe if you haven't explored all of this, maybe you should maybe approach them differently now with your business. So ChatGPT is kind of like a Swiss Army knife of AI. It's kind of like the perfect balance for writing emails, coding simple automations, analyzing data, brainstorming new ideas. Think of it as your more versatile team member who can jump between departments. You need to maybe write a proposal, then ChatGPT can draft one for you. You want to analyze sales data, ChatGPT can help you spot patterns that you might miss. Are you stuck on a creative problem? Well, you can have ChatGPT brainstorming, doing like a brainstorming session, like doing that, like thinking, like doing that brainstorming session with the smarter person that you know. And that's available 24/7. And this is when you use large language models, again, when you're using AI overall, I always talk about having human in the loop. Of course, you use it as they are assisting you on the work that you're doing, but they're not doing 100% the work for you. That's why you still need the human in the loop. The human help you finalize the end of the work that you need to provide. It might help you, get to 80% of the work, but then that's where the human will come and finalize the work. So this is important to emphasize. There's another large language model that is called Claude. If you need, let's say, copywriting that actually converts, this is the secret weapon. Claude absolutely dominates a long form content. Think about doing blog posts, sales pages, detailed reports, and any collaborative editing. That really helps. So while GPT gives you a good content and it's still good, Claude gives you a content that really sounds like it comes from the best copywriter. It understands context, the tone, the nuance, in ways that make your writing feel genuinely human. Many businesses use Claude specifically for customer-facing content because it just sounds like more natural and persuasive. The other LLM that I love using is it's Perplexity. This Think of this one as a real-time research assistant that never gets tired doing research. While other maybe LLMs work with their training data, Perplexity really searches the web in real time and gives you current cited information with sources. If you need research, your competitor latest moves, then maybe you can use Perplexity. This large language model will find and summarize the most recent information that you're looking for. If you want to understand industry trends or get up to get up to date market data, then this is a good tool to use. It's kind of like having a research team that can scan the entire internet and give you a comprehensive briefing in minutes. It gives you a complete information with links that where you can verify the sources. So this is super important if you do research work, and you should in your company in order to stay up to date on what's happening in the market and the trends. The next LLM, it's the Microsoft Copilot. And here's where things get really interesting for businesses that they're already using the Microsoft ecosystem. Copilot doesn't just help you write, it'll integrate seamlessly with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and Outlook. Imagine having an assistant that can create the entire PowerPoint presentation for your meeting notes, analyze complex Excel data, and create charts automatically, and even draft professional emails that match your writing style. So if you're living in this Microsoft Office Copilot world, then this is a productivity superpower tool that you can have, and you can use that daily in your business. The other LLM is the Google Gemini. This is your research and Google Workspace powerhouse as well. So Gemini excels at finding information, synthesizing the research from multiple sources, and working with Google. And you use the Google Docs or Sheets or Gmail, right? So that's kind of like using those tools in order to leverage the data. It's very good at helping you understand complex topics very quickly and creating comprehensive research reports. So if your business relies heavily on research, content creation, or Google tools, Gemini can really dramatically speed up your information, gathering the information and documenting the process, the creation process that you do in your business. So that's kind of like one, another LLM that it's really good. Okay, now let's go into the area number 3, which is the media content creation. So we were talking first about, let me remind myself. So we talked about conversational AIs and we talked about the tools that you could use for conversational AI. Then I'm going back to my notes really quick. We talked about the large language models, and I talked about those, the ones that I recommend the most to implement in your business. And now I want to talk about another area, which is the media content creation, where you can potentially, if you're interested, clone yourself to help um, expedite processes around media. So this one is amazing. So I'm going to share something that might sound like science fiction, but it's really happening right now. So you can literally clone yourself using platform like HeyGen, and you can check that out. That I have a clone on my website. If you don't know how that works, like just check out my own clone on my website. You literally can create your digital version of yourself to deliver presentations, to make marketing videos, even to create training sessions. Imagine your marketing team writing a script and your avatar will present it with whoever needs consistently. That will free up so much of your time and focus growing your business, because you literally just don't need to be present doing the videos over and over again. So with the right messaging and visuals, it feels like you are everywhere at once without having to be on camera 24/7. So really building clones, you should consider that for your business, for your marketing, for your brand presence, if you haven't thought about it. Other game changers in this space are Jasper. That's one of the tools that is really good for blog content that actually sounds like you wrote it. This isn't generic AI writing. Jasper really learns your brand voice, your tone, and style preferences. You can train it on your existing content so it writes like you, not like like a robot, right? So many businesses use Jasper to maintain consistent blogging schedules without burning out the content teams, if you have a content team, or yourself if that you're the only one person, you're the only person doing that. The other media tool is Midjourney. Oh my gosh, this tool is amazing if you haven't used it. It has stunning visuals and the photography, it's amazing. If you need to create maybe product mockups, social media graphics, any marketing visuals, Midjourney creates images so high quality that many people can't tell they are AI generated images. And that will save you money, because instead of paying hundreds of dollars, for a photo shoot or, for custom graphics, you can create professional level visuals with a simple text description. So you put a text description on the tool and that'll create, and you can iterate on the images that you would like to create. Another tool that is amazing is the script. This one is for video editing, and it's so simple. You just edit the text from the video, and this tool really revolutionizes the video editing by turning into a word processing task. So you upload the video, it creates a transcript, and you edit the video by editing the text on the transcript. So if you, let's say, delete a sentence from the transcript and you don't want that in the video, it'll remove it from the video, and then voila, then the video gets edited and updated. So it's literally having a professional video editor, but you don't need any technical skills. You literally like work off the text of the video, the transcript. The other tool that I want to recommend is Resemble AI. If you do voiceovers for your business, like whether maybe you're creating podcasts, maybe you need to create an audiobook, training videos, or maybe phone system recordings, Resemble AI can clone your voice so accurately that even your family might not notice the difference. So record a few samples and you can generate hours of professional voiceover content without ever stepping into a recording studio. This is how much time you can save with those tools. Okay, the next area number 4, it's personalization at scale. And here's where AI gets really powerful. You know how Netflix seems to know exactly what you want to watch? Well, that's personalization. And and that's how you can use that in your business. So let me give you a few tools that you can leverage with that. So Worldly, it's a great tool, amazing. Imagine being in a sales meeting with a potential client in Germany and you speak English and they respond, your client or your potential customer responds in German. But you both understand each other because you're using this tool that is translated real time. So that is really not the future, that is today. That's how much you can expand your business globally because now you have the power of these tools that you can leverage when you're doing businesses anywhere in the world. Another great tool is Daily.ai. This tool personalizes your email newsletters based on what your audience is actually engaging with. So instead of sending one generic version of newsletter to everyone, this tool will analyze each subscriber's engagement history. Basically, the way it works, they analyze what these what your audience will click, read, or skip. And then it will dynamically create a personalized version for each person. For example, if someone always clicks on maybe your business growth tip, but ignores any other content that you provide, let's say industry news, their newsletter will prioritize just content around maybe the growth strategies that you provide. If another subscriber loves to read to case studies, but really skips any product announcements that you provide, then this person will get more case studies because that's what they engage and that's what they like to read the most. So the AI will learn each person's preferences and create individual newsletters, and that's the experience that you give them to them using this personalization, right? So that's why, and it helps with your open rates, and it helps with the subscribers to stay, engaged with your content. Okay, area number 5, it's complex workflow automations. This is where magic happens. Remember Zapier? I don't know if you used that tool before, but you can use this tool to connect different apps. And in the past, it was kind of like a little bit complicated trying to figure out how to connect these apps. But now you literally type on in this tool with natural language, like this is what I want to connect, and it'll create it for you. It'll kind of like really simplify the process. So Zapier is a great one. Explain that AI. This takes it a little bit further in terms of workflow automations. And this is why it makes it so special. You literally describe any business process in plain English to this tool, and it'll build a complete AI system for you. Think of it as having maybe a team of developers who can understand your business needs without any technical jargon. Wouldn't that be amazing? So this is another one that you can leverage. So the beauty is that you don't need to understand, how everything works, how to connect APIs, how to do integrations, how to do coding. You just explain to this tool the business logic of it, what you're trying to get, and it'll really create the workflow that you're looking to automate in your business. Okay. Now, if you are if you're convinced that AI can transform your business, the question that it probably comes after that is, but where do we start? So I want to share my 6-step process and framework that can maybe solve that problem for you. So the step number one is you will want to choose the entry point. You don't want to try to AIify the whole business at once. Start one department at a time. And the recommendation, depending where you're at within your business, it could be starting with marketing and lead generation. If you have that one set up very well, maybe you move into sales and conversion. If you have that one, organized very well, then work on customer service or administrative tasks. Those are like great departments to start with that can really save you a lot of time and can take away all those repetitive tasks that you don't really need to do manually. So if you start with marketing, because, well, I mean, I recommend that because I love marketing. I think everyone needs to market their business, and you need to get more sales. So, but if you have that system set up, I understand. It's just like sometimes starting with marketing is the fastest way to get the return on investment and at the least disruptive to your core operations. So if you want to start that way, that will be maybe the first step to try that. So again, in the step number one, you want to understand what will be your first entry point with AI. The step number two is we will interview and assess your business. So we will map how your current workflows, where are you spending the most time on repetitive tasks, what processes frustrates your team the most. So those are kind of things that we will discover during the interview process for you as a business owner and for your team members. The step number three will be the strategic planning of it. So we will match AI solutions to your specific needs. And that's why we do the interview process, because we need to understand where are the needs and where we can create the most value for your business. This isn't about just using the coolest tools. That's not. It's about really solving your actual problems and where are the immediate needs that you need to solve right now. The fourth step is developing solutions. Sometimes you just can use just the off-the-shelf tools. Sometimes you just need to build custom workflows. Sometimes it's just training your existing tools to work smarter. Sometimes you don't need AI at all. You just need to optimize your current workflows and make it better and simpler. And maybe you just implement some simple automations to eliminate those repetitive tasks. So it really varies depending on the needs of your business. Step number 5, it's the implementation. So now we got a point where we develop the solutions, we have the strategy, we develop the solutions, now we need to implement. So again, I think you should start small, test everything, and scale what works. So this is where having the right implementation support and the right implementation team will become crucial. You can kind of have tools here and there that you can start implementing by yourself, but if you want your business to have a strategy around AI and how to make everything, all the departments efficient, you want to have the whole strategy before you start implementing tools here and there without understanding the connection and the impact that one department can have over the other. So while some tools really can be set up quickly, maybe by your internal teams, and I recommend that as well, there's more complex AI workflows that often require kind of a little specialized expertise. And again, that changes That depends on the business needs. So you might need technical specialists who understands how to API integrations, how to create data flow optimizations, and system architecture. So the key is knowing when to handle implementation internally versus when to bring an external support for it. And simple tools like ChatGPT and Jasper, your team can probably handle those themselves. We don't need an expert for that, but custom tools and AI workflows and advanced automations or enterprise level integrations, that's something a little more complex that you might need developers, engineers who can help you make that integration a little bit better. So that's where having an experienced implementation team makes the difference between success and months of frustration. Okay, there's a lot of businesses who are trying things themselves without, and sometimes they give up because it's like it's getting too complicated, or just they get frustrated and trying to understand how everything works. So a good implementation team will handle the technical heavy lifting, setting up integration, testing workflows, troubleshooting issues, and ensuring everything works seamlessly with your existing systems. And this will allow you to focus on running your business while the experts will handle the technical complexity of implementing AI and automation in your business. And then the sixth step in the process that I use for my clients is the training and the optimization. So we got everything implemented, but now your team needs to learn how to work with AI. It's not just use the AI tools. This is where most businesses fail because they install the technology, but they don't change their processes or their mindset. Once you have AI, you work differently, and that's a big piece of it as well. So effective training goes beyond just showing people where to click the buttons within the tool. Your team needs to understand how AI makes them think differently, how to write effective prompts, how to integrate AI in their daily workflows. For example, your marketing team needs to learn how to collaborate with AI for content creation, when to use AI for the first draft, versus having a full, final polished draft, polished, output or asset, how to maintain your brand voice, how to fact check AI generated content. Those are things that they are going to be needed. So training should also address the psychological side of it. Like many employees feel threatened by AI or worry it will replace them. But successful implementation requires helping your team see that AI is their assistant, not their replacement. Show them how AI can help handling those boring tasks, repetitive tasks, tasks so that the employee can focus on creative problem solving and relationship building more so than those mundane tasks that they are, not as exciting. The optimization piece is also equally important here because AI systems learn and improve over time, but only if you are monitoring the performance and making adjustments to it. So this means you're gonna need regularly reviewing what's working, what isn't, and start tweaking maybe the prompts, the workflows, the integrations. Sometimes new AI tools emerge that can do a better job that was been doing it when it was implemented, maybe make it more efficient. So ongoing implementation keeps you at the cutting edge in this area. So again, this is evolving. So you need to plan for continuous learning. AI technology evolves rapidly, and your team needs to stay current. And this might mean that you may need maybe monthly training, subscribing to AI newsletters, having someone on your team dedicated to monitoring what's happening with new developments, and testing the emerging tools that could totally take your business further down to the next level. Okay, so here's the bottom line. AI isn't coming to transform businesses, it's already here. The question is whether you should implement AI. It's not the question, it's how quickly you should do it, but effectively. So the opportunity window is still open. Again, it's closing fast. Every day you wait, more of your competitors are figuring this out and they are implementing and they're moving faster. So if you want to be in the 2% of those businesses who are doing AI right, which I mentioned that in the beginning, here's what you need to do. First, pick one area of your business where you spend too much time on repetitive tasks. Just pick one. The second one is try one tool, maybe from today's show, whatever I shared today, that could maybe help you speed up your processes. And don't overthink it, just start. Just pick one and see, start trying new things. Third, if you're still confused and you need more clarity on how this could really work for your business or your professional career, if you are trying to advance your career within a firm, then let's connect. I can offer you a complimentary call to provide clarity on how AI technologies can make your business more profitable and more productive. And you can reach me. You can go to my website, marianadalto.com. I'm going to put that in the show notes of my podcast and in the notes for the YouTube, in my YouTube channel. But go to my website, set up a call if you need more clarity, more strategy on how this can work for your business. So the future belongs to businesses that embrace AI today. So don't let your competitors get there first. Until then, stay curious, stay ahead, and remember, your AI starts now. See you next time.